Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Chris.
How are you today?
Fantastic. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Yes, it's the day of beheadings.
I had read that there was two different St. Valentines. Did you hear that?
No, I haven't.
And I didn't know that the one of them was beheaded.
Yeah, on I think this day in 270 AD. I think I could be a little bit off on the date. Because I mean he was advocating basic. He also it was no, that's St. Nicholas. Never mind. He's the guy that punched heretics. We're way off base. We'll just say good morning, and then it's I joked with Eric and my wife that we were going to rename the podcast from Incoherent Ramblings to Incoherent Schedulings. We missed our first date that we had promoted for about 2 months.
I think this is the 4 weeks in between our last show, I think. So, yeah.
But the first one, we weren't we had said it was going to be the 11th or whatever, and then we missed that.
Right. Well, that was technical issues.
Yeah, technical issues. And then we came out of the gate strong a week late, and then
well, no, strong is strong. We came out of the gate anyway.
So, but there was our friends up north will laugh, but if you live down here, you realize we don't get winter weather that often. So it wouldn't make sense for us to have the same amount of salt, snow plows, trucks, and people don't have snow tires and chains and things like that, because it just wouldn't make sense to us. So
right.
As we get it, but we did get hit with
an ice storm.
Yeah,
and then a week later, over 10 inches of snow.
Yeah. So and the ice had not melted, and the ice was, there's for frozen precipitation, snow, sleet, and then freezing rain, which will freeze after it hits Earth. I don't know about where you were, but that first one was 100% sleet here. Mm-hmm. And it was like 3¼ inches I measured. And it was that I've never seen that much sleet, and there was zero snow.
Right.
It was like 100% sleet.
Sleet's better than ice, though.
Yes.
And we had no power issues.
No power issues.
So that was a blessing. And
it makes for great sledding for the kids because it's super, super fast.
Well, I could ice skate on my front yard.
Yeah, it was good.
Slick.
And I fractured my elbow.
Oh, did you? I was unaware.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Sledding?
No. I went out with Lucy. It was about 6:30 after supper, and I was taking her out. And when we had been out in the daylight, there was a patch just past the ice that was completely melted from the radiant heat of the sun. Mm-hmm. And it still looked like it was completely melted, but by 6:30, it had already completely refrozen. And
black ice.
Yep. My feet went out from under me, and I landed, and I fractured the top of my radial.
Yikes.
Yep. So had a big swollen spot on my arm. Took a week off from the gym, and then everything's good. Thankfully, it wasn't like across the arm. It was more like this way. So I mean, it's just one of those things you kind of hang out until it gets better.
Right.
Yeah. So then we had, as Eric said, after the ice had not melted. Like,
no, it was
very
sheet of ice on underneath.
Like maybe 1/4 inch it melted, and then we get like 10, 12 inches of snow. And so we were not prepared for that. So we've been missing a few weeks, but we're back. Happy Valentine's Day. So we got chit chat. That's chit chat, right? Weather. We covered weather.
There you go.
The recent weather. Today is a beautiful sunny day, but tomorrow I think it's supposed to be like rain all day, just like cold and rainy.
Yep.
So a day to maybe stay in and make some soup or something. So what's happening with us other than that?
Well, I had family in town visiting from Ohio.
Oh, that's right.
That was fun.
That's right. Oh yeah, your sister.
Yep.
It was last week.
Mm-hmm. Last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Was that last weekend or weekend before last? That was last weekend.
Weekend before last.
Okay.
Last weekend was Jackson's birthday.
That's right.
Yeah. So is she doing well?
She's doing great.
Yeah.
They had just gotten 15 inches up, and they're from Cincinnati. Got 15 inches up there the week before. Come down here, get another 10 inches, and then they get back and they got like another 8. So they've really been bombarded. But it cut our visit short. We did have a good time. We went to Hops, which is a famous hamburger joint here, for lunch one day, and then we went to Hamilton's, which is a steak restaurant that you and I have been to before, where all their steaks are at least 40 days dry aged. We got the ribeye that was 60 plus days. It was good. And they enjoyed that. So,
Hamilton's is great.
It is.
Yeah, we'll put a plug in for them.
Yeah,
they're not a chain.
Out of Asheboro, North Carolina.
Asheboro, yeah. And I'm only saying something that someone that lives there, was born, reared, and still lives there. He calls it Trashboro. No, Hamilton's is, if you're familiar with the overpriced steakhouse like Ruth's Chris or Fleming's, or there's several in that line, I personally think it's almost as good as those places. For
the atmosphere is not
right.
as fancy.
I'm talking about the food.
Yeah. The food, I think, is as good, if not better.
Yeah. Well, what makes it better for me is that it's about 2/3 the price.
Right.
Yeah.
It ain't cheap though.
No, it's not cheap, but it's still cheaper than Fleming's.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. It's good. Yeah.
It is good.
Yeah.
Asheboro's a neat little town. I worked there for about a year and a half. It's about a half hour from where we are now.
You sell a lot of 5-gallon buckets?
I do have a friend that opened up a brewery. Well, he was one of 4 guys that opened up a brewery there. Four Saints Brewery is based out of Asheboro.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Andrew Deming, guy I used to work with. I thought it's an impressive little venture that he's made work.
It's a very nice, I would call it typical southern town, smaller town. It has the amenities, not all, but amenities of a larger city without being that large. Yeah. And a lot of good people there.
Greensboro's the Triad's got a lot of good little microbreweries. Red Oak.
Red Oak.
Have you been to Red Oak?
I went one time and had, they have food from food trucks, make some food there.
Yep.
And when the weather's nice, that outside area is very pleasant.
It is very nice. It's fancy.
You can take dogs.
Inside's almost like a cathedral. I mean, it's beautiful. My father-in-law and uncle-in-law, they both helped build the bar, the wood on the bar and the chandeliers, the wooden chandeliers in there. So, and they just opened an art museum there too. Have you been through it?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yep, some paintings and things that are in there.
The owner has just acquired some art throughout the years and opened up a art gallery that's attached to it as well. It's a neat little place.
Yeah. Well, we're going to jump over to celebrity birthdays, and we were talking before the show because we're always prepared. We were talking before the show, and we both use a few different resource sites for the celebrity birthdays, and I made a comment to Eric that the definition of celebrity and famous has changed throughout the years. No offense to any of the people that are on the list that we're going to leave off, because I'm sure they have some kind of public notoriety or they would not have made the list. But we're not going to waste time on YouTube and TikTok stars,
right? Unless
it's someone like Joe Rogan, Jake Paul. Like, obviously that transcends just that platform. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking through, and it was like the third or fourth row before we got to someone that I knew. So we can start off with that. Today was the birthday of the late great Frederick Douglass.
That's right.
Very important man in our country's history.
African-American abolitionist, lecturer, editor.
Yep. And autobiographer, and has some great hair. My goodness. I love white hair, period. I always have. But, I mean, handsome gentleman with a great head of hair. Today was his birthday, so posthumously. And then someone that was just in the Super Bowl, young man, JSN.
Jackson Smith Njigba.
And he played at
the Ohio State.
The Ohio State. And now he plays for...
I was really torn for the Super Bowl. Who'd you root for in the Super Bowl?
I did not care.
I didn't either. I had no... When I don't care, I usually root for the underdog or the team that has the most Ohio State ex-Ohio State players.
Right.
They each had one.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So it was still neutral.
Yeah, exactly. So Seahawks had JSN, who also just this year was voted the #1 offensive player in the NFL. Did you know that?
I did not.
So I mean, he's a star.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the Patriots had Travion Henderson, running back, who played for Ohio State last year and helped them, had a substantial role in them winning the national championship last year. So ultimately, I had picked during the playoffs when it first started, I thought that Seahawks were probably the best team to win the whole thing, and that's who I predicted to win the whole thing. But the Patriots were the underdogs.
Mm-hmm.
Drake May was a quarterback for the Patriots, which used to play for UNC. So that was, he's a genuinely good guy.
Yeah.
Ended up marrying his 8th grade sweetheart from 8th. They've been dating since 8th grade. They had Travion Henderson. So they were the underdog. I don't like.
They're also the Patriots.
They're the Patriots, and they've won so many times. That's why I don't like. And I didn't want to root for them. I really did not want to root for them, but I was. But it was not a very exciting.
I was neutral on it. I would say so. In the past, people have switched teams have switched conferences, right? Mm-hmm. In the past, because I grew up in West Palm Beach, and I was a Miami Dolphins fan, and when I was there, that was the only NFL team in Florida. Mm-hmm. Jacksonville and Tampa did not exist. Well, the cities did. The NFL franchise didn't. And so I was a Dolphins fan. And so generally my rule of thumb was if I didn't care about either team, I would just pull for the AFC. That's just what I would do. It's
gotcha.
kind of like, I break ranks from 99% of Carolina fans. I will root for Duke if they're in a national championship game because 1, they're from North Carolina. 2, they're in the ACC. So, and 3, they probably beat UNC that year. And so is there any shame in getting beat by the national champion? I would say no. So, but yeah, I really, that AFC thing, the allegiance isn't really there as much just because, there's teams that have floated between the two conferences. So I really just did not care. And I will admit that I only watched about half the first quarter, and then I started watching Law and Order reruns. I didn't even watch the game. So,
right. By the way, Drake May was the 2nd youngest quarterback ever to play in the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, just children.
And you know who the youngest was? Dan Marino.
Oh, Dan Marino. Yes.
I assume your team.
Yes. That was, and then he had the 2 wideouts, Mark Clayton and Mark Duper. Well, they had more than those 2, but that was an exciting time. There are a lot of different routes that can be ran, and I know it's not maybe the flashiest, but I just love a straight post, especially when it's a perfectly thrown spiral that arcs, and the wideout does not have to break their stride. They literally catch it running at the speed they were running before and after they caught it, and just cruise right into the end zone. That's my favorite offensive play.
Right.
And Marino and Clayton and Duper hit that multiple times throughout that magical season.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
Speaking of Ohio State, Woody Hayes.
Woody Hayes.
Old coach for Ohio State. His birthday was today.
Oh, sure enough. Yeah.
Back from 1913.
Yeah.
He coached the Ohio State Buckeyes national championships in 54, 57, 61, my birth year, 68, and 70.
So. All right. Oh, yeah. Your birth year. And Eric's birthday is coming up soon. Yeah. What day is it on?
The 18th of March.
No, I know.
You said what day is it
on?
I
know. No, I didn't say the date. I said the day.
You mean like what day of the week?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not a savant.
You haven't memorized. I got to look it up. It's a Wednesday. And we'll have to figure something out for that. I was going to say if it's a Saturday, then, we'll have balloons up in here and everything.
We've already established we don't talk about obscure social media celebrities' birthdays, okay?
It's different when
we
it's
can't make that
us.
exception.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you, who else you got for us? I've got, I don't want to go through these.
Gregory Hines
Gregory. Oh yeah, the late great
from White Knights.
I think he passed away in 2003.
You told me that. I didn't realize he was dead.
Yeah.
Makes me feel old.
Yeah. Well, we are.
I know.
Yeah.
Teller from Penn and Teller.
Teller. Yes. Have you ever heard him speak?
I have not. Have you?
I have. Interesting enough, for those who know me, you know this. I love magic. I love performing magic, but I'm not good at it. And if you love magic, you love Penn and Teller. And so I've watched some videos where an interview where he talked the entire interview.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And it's always interesting because until the first time I had seen him perform countless times, but never speak. So it's like you don't know what their voice is going to sound like, and then you hear it, and you're like, "Oh, cool."
Is there a reason why he doesn't speak? Is it?
That's just
Is it just his shtick, or is it?
He is his shtick. It's his magic stick, but also there's. I don't want to say because I can't remember, but I've watched an interview where he and Pim both explain it. Yeah, there was a reason why he chose to do that.
Gotcha.
But he is he's really good. So we got anybody else?
Oh, who else did we have? We had Simon Pegg from Mission Impossible.
Yep, Simon Pegg.
Shaun of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
English actor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a little light day on the celebrity birthdays if we strip out social media.
Right. Freddie Highmore, which.
Oh, Freddie Highmore. Yeah. He's a good doctor.
The good doctor. Yeah.
And some other. I'm not familiar with.
They said he was in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I don't remember that.
Oh no, he was. Yeah, the remake.
Okay.
The you talking about Willy Wonka?
Yeah.
Yeah. The I think he was in the there's no way he was in the first one.
No,
right?
there's no way.
Yeah.
So he was only 33.
Yeah. He's young. He's a child. When you get our age, it's funny because I'll tell Lauren about someone. How old were they? Somewhere between the age of 15 and 30. It's kind of difficult, right?
We were talking earlier about Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
And I guess it was released on this day.
Released,
I guess we'll leave birthdays and go to events from February 14th across the year. But it was released on Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, is February 14th always?
Yes.
Okay.
Always. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Romance was in the air.
There you go. That is a little romantic rom-com there.
Yeah.
But I had a point to go with that, but now I forget. I lost my train of thought.
I'm good at that. I'm good at disheveling trains of thoughts, derailing. Did you see that when it first came out?
Yeah. Oh, I know. I was going to say because it made me feel old. I think it was released in 92.
91, 92?
Maybe it was 91. I don't know. But so I was doing the math on the way over here, and so that I was 23. So I was younger when that movie came out than my daughter is today. So
91.
91.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, did it win Best Picture?
It should have. It had Jodie Foster in it, who I adore. I always have. I will. I won't go into details, but I am quite fond of several characters she has played, including Ubate. I'll stop. Nell. What was that movie she was in? I liked it. A lot of people didn't. The one where something about outer space and
the First Contact or something.
Yeah, Contact. Yeah, I liked that movie. I enjoyed it. So yeah, Silence of the Lambs. That was. I remember. That was probably the first time I vividly remember the classic movie scene where there's two different things happening at the same time, but they want the viewer to believe it's happening together, but it's not. When they were going to the house, I was convinced that was going to be the climax.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And I'm sure people that were older would be like, "Oh, I saw that coming. I didn't see it coming." Now 20 years later, I would see movies and I'd be like, "Yeah, I saw that coming."
Right.
But I thought it was very well done, and for the topic matter was not so great. But yeah,
there's a I don't know if mini series or some sort of series. What do you call those out now? And anyway, there's a show out on Netflix. I think it's Netflix or Prime. I think it's Netflix called His and Hers.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see that. There was a twist at the end that I did not see coming.
I've heard that. I've heard multiple people say that.
And I pride myself in, whenever watching a mystery, knowing who it is and picking up on the clues. I did not see that one coming. Should have.
Is it a whodunit or no? Is it more like a
kind of?
Okay. I love whodunits.
Yeah.
Love. Yeah, that's my favorite genre. Period.
But yeah,
Good
that's good.
Anything else?
Other movies that were released on this date: Wayne's World, a year later, 92.
Oh, 92, yeah.
So.
Same genre, maybe?
I guess so. Dana Carvey and Mike Myers.
Yeah. Dana Carvey is
based off their SNL skit.
A master impressionist.
He is. He is so much fun to watch. I'll go to YouTube and just watch some of his impressions. Right. He is.
Yeah.
He's talented. And I think he's a genuinely good guy too.
He seems that way. Yeah. I one of the funniest stories, he's got a lot of funny stories. One of the funniest stories that I've heard him tell was where he was invited to the White House, and then was it Bush Senior? Bush Senior? Yeah, Bush Senior. Yeah, Bush Senior was in, and he asked Dana if he would mess with the First Lady. And so he was walking by a room where she was, and he said, "Barb." And she's like, "Yes, honey." And she's like, "Oh," he actually fooled her. So, I mean, that's a pretty good impression if you can fool the sitting president's wife,
yes,
into thinking it's her husband.
Ross Perot, that takes us back. Shows how old we are.
Yes,
he would do him so good too.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and it's over the top, but he would do things that they did over the top. Yeah. So it's not like he was doing things that they didn't do. And also Bush Senior, the 1,000 points of light.
Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Well, it's a light what happened day.
Yeah. We had the St. Valentine's Massacre.
Yeah, St. Valentine's Massacre. Was that Chicago?
That was Chicago.
Uh-huh.
I think 1929. If I recall, there was seven gangsters from, I want to say, Bugs Moran's gang that were executed in some warehouse or something.
Yes, in a warehouse.
And they were, it's assumed that it was Al Capone's men that did it. I think two of them were dressed up like policemen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody's ever been charged for those crimes. So
I believe it was a cold case. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And will remain that way, obviously.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe not the lightest of news for this day in history.
Appropriate for Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Personally, I'm kind of. I'll share with you here. I have mixed emotions on Valentine's Day. I think it's a goofy day. I've always thought it is. But I always enjoy an opportunity to dote upon my wife.
There you go. Yeah.
So I like the concept in general, but indeed I don't like it. If that makes sense.
No, I don't understand. What do you mean, indeed?
Like I like it, like the way that it's actually celebrated and carried out and marketed. I'm not a fan of that. And I'm also not a fan of, I've heard my wife and other ladies say, well, some women, that's the only time that get doted upon. Well, it's unfortunate. Dote upon your loved one every day. That's what I say.
There you go.
So I think that's it for this day in history, right?
No, I had lots of things.
For history?
Yeah.
Oh, well, go for it.
Back in 1876, Alexander Graham Bell
Oh,
and
yes.
Alicia Gray applied separately for the telephone patents.
And Mr. Bell won by a hair, right?
Yep.
They were both on the way to get the patent
for
at the same
some
time.
reason, the Supreme Court ruled that he was the rightful inventor.
Right.
Let's see here.
Elisha Gray, was it?
Elisha Gray.
Oh,
Yep.
Elisha Gray, yeah.
Let's
retired
see.
from Mall Gray.
We had a couple states that entered the Union on this day. We had Oregon as a 33rd state in 1859 and Arizona in 1912.
Oh, okay.
So that's something.
Okay, yeah.
UPS was formed on this day in 1919.
Wow. 107 years.
That's impressive.
All right, yeah.
Aretha Franklin recorded Respect.
Yeah, on this day, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Her rendition of Otis Redding's tune.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. That was in 1967. Mm-hmm. Richard Petty won the the 13th Daytona 500 in 1971. There were several winners of the Daytona. I guess the Daytona, is it always run on February 14th? Is it today?
Right. No, it's always.
Is it
It's on a Sunday.
Okay.
But it's mid-February. I've been to it.
That's the only one I made note of, just because you and I have ties to Richard. But I used to live less than a half mile from him, and you and I went to visit his son once.
Yeah.
Went to his house.
Kyle Petty, a delightful human being.
Yep.
I don't care what. Well, actually, he is well respected. But if someone says something negative about him, I will refute it.
In our past life, Christopher and I worked for a company and did computer work, and we got a call from Kyle Petty's handlers begging us to come out and install a modem in his laptop because he was getting ready to do a motorcycle ride across the U.S. for charity.
Which he still does. Yep.
Gosh, what year was that, Chris? Like in 94, 95?
I started there in March of 93, so I'm pretty sure that it was either 94 or 95. It was one of those two.
I'm not usually good with dates, but that one for some reason came to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on, I can tell you what day it was, August 18th.
August 18th.
Because it was my previous wife's birthday.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we had plans to go to dinner at the Chinese place, or the Japanese place. Arigato.
Now, what is it now?
Is it now Arigato? What was it before?
No. Kyoto.
Before.
It was Kyoto at the time.
Right.
Yes. Yep.
And now it's Arigato.
Yep. August 18th.
And of course, we picked Kyle over my ex. We didn't cancel the dinner. We were just a little bit late. But Christopher and I went out to Kyle Petty's house. We didn't even go to his house. We went to his barn.
Well, we went to his property.
Right.
Yeah.
And the barn itself was like a 12-stall barn with a very lush, plush luxury apartment in it.
Right. Well, he had the apartment was for his kids, where they had become of age, but weren't ready to go out on their own completely. Had some privacy. It was nice.
It was very nice.
So I'll fill in a little blanks there.
Okay.
First of all, his handlers came to the store. Eric may not remember this part until I don't know all of it, and Eric came back and said, we need to go to Kyle Petty's tonight. And I said, no, we're going to Kyoto for his ex-wife's birthday. And that had been planned. Of course, we also went to Kyoto weekly. Yes. We had Yoshi was our chef.
Yes.
That they would every Tuesday they had our table waiting for us with Yoshi. And so I was like, no, I'm not going. You're like, you have to. I've already guaranteed you to go. So here's the thing. He bought a modem because he wanted to be able to every night dial in to the internet over a phone line and do an update.
We already said it was 94.
Right. So just, do an update each day. So the people tracking it could have some form of update. That may sound commonplace now, but back then that was not.
Right,
so he wanted to do that. And so we get there. They bought the modem. We get there to his place, and it was a Macintosh, a MacBook.
I don't remember that.
It wasn't even called MacBook back then. It was just an Apple laptop, And our store sold a few Apple products, not many, but was mostly by and large Wintel. And I kind of freaked out because I had never done anything within the Apple OS, which is nothing like it is now.
Right.
Like it's completely different. And then I was just like, you know, fake it, right?
Yeah.
I just did what I would do if it were Wintel. And thankfully, within less than 30 minutes, I got it working. I connected to the internet, then I disconnected. I had them do it so they could see how it was done. Then Kyle did it, so everybody was in on it. While we were there, somebody, one of his sons, I can't remember which one, came in with like 7 bags from Wendy's. And Kyle was trying his best to give us bacon cheeseburgers. And we're like, appreciate it, brother, but we already have plans for dinner. But he really, truly was, but he was very gracious to us that day, very kind, thanked us repeatedly. And then do you remember him handing you an envelope?
Yeah, I do. That's one of the things I remember.
And I won't go into the detail about it, but he said, he said, I want you guys to have this because I realized this was a last minute thing and you already had plans. And
somehow he knew that it was my wife's birthday.
Yes, right.
I hadn't told him, and I was surprised.
I had told the handler of the store.
I understand that you postponed your wife's birthday dinner, and I want dinner to be on me.
Right.
And he gave us an envelope with a significant
amount of cash, and it's significant.
It'd be significant today.
Significant today. It'd be significant right now.
Right.
And this was in '94.
Right.
And the cool thing about it, his ex-wife and I would always sit beside each other because she wanted all my zucchini and I wanted all of her onions. And so we would literally sit there and like scrape onto each other's plates. So we got off of Finch Farm Road, and I'm only saying, anybody can Google and see it. He lives on Finch
He's
Farm.
Not there anymore.
No, he's not.
He sold
it. Yeah. We got off Finch Farm Road onto Interstate 85, and Eric's, because he asked us not to open the envelope until we got on the highway. And Eric opened the envelope and he was like, oh, wow. And so what we did, I don't know if you remember this, we paid for the dinner out of it, and then we split what was left.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't remember that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But it was, we ate very well that night.
Indeed.
And we had a lot of money left over. So, and then his father, Eric, as he mentioned, he lived just, half
the first
a mile.
house I ever bought was a half mile. I could hear him tuning up his cars and all that kind of stuff when I lived out there.
And my mother, my maternal grandparents, and were next door neighbors to Lee, and I can't remember his wife's, Richard's mother. And they all knew each other. And I remember the first time I ever met Richard Petty. I can't tell you the year. I know it was before. It was the summer of 1984 or before, because my grandfather passed away in August of '84. So, and we moved up here in July of '85. We went down to, it's no longer there, but on Coltrane Mill Road was Coltrane Mill. And my grandfather and I would go out and work on the farm, picking blackberries, picking other vegetables, hoeing, whatever needed to be done, until it started getting good and hot. And then we would go to Coltrane Mill, get a soda, and sit on the front porch and drink that in the shade. That's what we did every single day, Monday through Saturday. And Richard Petty would be there on the front porch multiple times. But the first time I saw him, I was just like, is that Richard Petty? And my grandfather was like, yes. And he walked up, and Richard Petty was like, Mr. White, hopped up on his feet and gave him a handshake and a hug. And I was like, you know him? He's like, yeah, we were neighbors. I was like, okay. And then I cannot find it, but Richard Petty autographed a napkin for me that day. Wow. I didn't ask him for it. Like, he gave it to me because I was sitting there awe-stricken. But again, really salt of the earth people, really good people. So, anything else we got?
Sugar Ray Robinson defeated Jake LaMotta.
Oh yeah,
in a middleweight title in 1951. That's all I got. You're right. It was a very light day.
No, light day. Yes. Yeah. So we will move over to our good news, and I don't think it hurts repeating this. I mean, we are unfortunately, civil discourse is almost non-existent, and everybody is just so mean. And when I say everybody, we're not picking a side. It's like everybody is mean, and there's all this bad news that we're surrounded with. And Eric and I, we want to try to highlight not only good news, but try to promote and try to get into people's mind how, hey, you know what? Let's try to move through life looking through good news lens instead of everything being so negative and harsh, because that stuff is going to happen.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. And I'm not saying we should put our head in the sand and ignore it, but it's also nice to focus on both.
Mm-hmm.
Why only focus on the negative? So Eric and I are trying to counter that.
It is hard to find good news stories. It really is.
Well, it's not because the media wants sensationalism.
That's right. Yeah, it's I guess what sucks the viewers in.
Right.
And we don't care. We're not trying to get lots of viewers.
No. With the 4 that we have right now, it's perfect.
That's right. We did have a listener submit a story. This wasn't this week; it was last week. So I think this might be a week or 2 old.
Yeah, listener submit a story, and by the way, we love that. On our the previous run of our show in the 2009 to 11, we had a lot weekly, and we couldn't even get to all of them. So please send us that.
Absolutely. This one came from a listener in Maryland. About a story about a woman who had renal failure. Is that when you have you need a kidney?
Mm-hmm.
Had renal failure, and
needed a kidney transplant.
You need a kidney transplant for that. So a Texas woman, I think her name was Amanda McCowan. Let me get this right.
See, we're prepared.
That's right. Well, it's a little convoluted, so I got to make sure I get.
Yeah.
So a Texas woman named Amanda McCowan. She's an ex-wife who recently made headlines by donating her kidney to her ex-husband's current wife, Angela Maples, an act that turned an initially strained relationship into a powerful story of family and forgiveness. So Angela Maples was diagnosed with renal failure and required 14 hours of daily dialysis while on a 5-year-long donor wait list. 2 other potential donors had fallen through. Amanda and Angela's initial relationship after divorce was pretty toxic. Amanda initially deciding she wasn't going to like the new wife. However, over a decade of co-parenting children and shared responsibilities, the friction softened. And I guess Amanda got tested, found out she was a good fit, donated her kidney.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Are you a organ donor?
I am.
Yeah, I am also. Yeah. I know there's, and I 100% respect anybody that isn't, well, for any reason, but specifically people for religious reasons. I respect that. The way I look at it is, this is just, physical form that my soul is in. And once I depart, if it can
prolong
do
the life
anything,
or better the life of another individual,
and better someone else, why not?
Right.
And that, someone's, and I'm sure a lot of people that aren't organ donors probably still feel that way. It's just there's a deep-seated conviction on how to treat.
I guess there aren't many, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm not that well versed on it, but we have 2 kidneys. You don't need both.
Correct.
You can donate one. There's probably not. We don't probably have a lot of extra organs in reserve that you can donate. Is there what other organs? I wonder.
An eye.
An eye. Yep. An arm.
Well, that's not an organ. Well, we have 2 kidneys, so
right.
That for sure.
Yes.
You can donate a spleen.
Now, I think with livers, isn't it possible to?
You can live with a partial liver.
Where that? Yeah, I guess we're actually.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, with the kidneys for sure.
Bone marrow, maybe?
No, bone marrow, yeah. you could donate that for sure. Stem cells,
Right.
yeah, there's things that can be donated, but before passing, but most of it. And then, I mean, after you pass, I mean, it's not just organs. There's bones, connective tissues. I mean, they can use it for many different things.
Right.
And not all of it is for, people that are terminally ill. Some of it is just like they need it, and it will make their life significantly better.
Right.
So, well,
plasma.
Plasma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My nephew had some sort of disease where he had to have regular plasma injections.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't donate my plasma directly to him, but when he was going through that, I went and donated plasma.
I've donated.
He no longer has to do that. I don't know what that was, but I did it so long, it started to put a track, like a mark on my arm, so I stopped it when people think I was a junkie. But
this is for my nephew.
Yeah, right.
Is plasma? How long does that take?
I don't remember because that was probably in.
I have not done plasma. I've done
90s.
platelets. With plasma, do you get?
And I'm sure it's probably different today than it was then. I feel like what happened is, if I remember correctly, I went in, they hook up the IV to your arm. It would run your blood through a machine, and it separated the plasma from the blood, and it put the blood back into your body. If I remember correctly, that's how it worked.
That's how it works.
And I want to say it was less than an hour. I want to.
With the platelets, it was 2 hours.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and very cold. Yeah.
Gotcha.
The phlebotomist said, "Did you bring a blanket?" I said, "It's in the trunk." She said, "Go get it." I was like, "No, I'll be okay." She said, "Go get the blanket." I said, "Yes, ma'am." I was about 30 minutes into it. I said, "Do you have any additional blankets?" And she brought me 2 from the warmer, and I was still cold. Because I mean, it's going out at, let's say, 97, 98 degrees. It's coming back in at 70 degrees.
Wow.
And it's just going everywhere. And it's just like, that's a big drop.
That is significant.
And you feel like I had the shivers and, well, yeah, so that's cool. That's, if you think about it. Okay, so let's look at this specific story, okay? If you remove, let's just say you were the kind of person that you were like, I am willing to donate my kidney to someone if they need it, whether or not I know them.
Right.
It's something I'm willing to do. If you remove the fact that it was her ex-husband's current wife, there wouldn't be any reason for her to say no if she was okay with it.
Right.
Like she goes to the kidney center, hey, you need a kidney and I'm a good match, take it. So if you think about it, the only reason why she would not want to would be out of spite, or
you want the backup in case something happened to one of yours.
Well,
you want to think, I want to be around for my kids and my wife, and I don't want to take the chance.
Right.
Plus, there's always any surgery. There's a chance for complications.
I'm talking about though, like if you are 100% in on donating your kidney, no matter what.
Right.
Then and so she took the high ground there.
Right.
She realized that it would have a positive impact on her children.
That is true.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So regardless, even though things had softened, even if they hadn't, it was still, you're willing to do something. Now you're going to do something that has a positive influence and impact on your children. But it's, I think, still commendable because a lot of people be like, oh, no way.
Well, I've talked about this story with my ex-wife because, she and I are still very, very good friends. And she said she'd give her kidney to my current wife. She needed it.
Yeah. They go shopping together. Oh my goodness.
I know it's an unusual thing for, maybe it is or maybe it isn't. I don't know.
It depends. I wouldn't say it's commonplace.
Right.
Right. But I do know, not someone that's married, but another good friend of mine, Jamie, you know him.
Uh-huh.
He has remained very close friends with a young lady he used to date many years ago. She's married, got kids, and he and her current husband are good friends. So I mean, it is common. It's common, but it's not like the norm, I would say.
Right. And I guess every situation is different. It's not like either one of us choose on the other, or obviously it's and we do have a child together. And but I consider her one of my closest friends. So.
Yep. She is a fine lady, for sure.
Is.
So, we got any other good news stories?
Well, we had the follow-up to the Buddhists.
Oh, yeah, the Buddhist monks.
They made it to
completed their mission,
Washington,
right?
D.C., yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think
it's from somewhere in Texas?
I forget whereabouts in Texas. But if they want to listen to that, go back to our previous episode. No, I'm sure I have it here somewhere. But I think they walked like 2,300 miles.
2,300 miles.
2,300 miles.
Yeah.
19 men.
Yeah. And
a dog.
And a dog. And
walked for most of it. I'm trying to look to see how long it took them. I want to say it was like 109 days or something. I guess I should have read this before. It's a long story. I want to try and give you the cliff notes. I do know they ended up at the Washington Monument, though, and gave a speech. I listened to the speech when they were here in Greensboro, and it's I feel like this was a really uplifting walk.
Yeah, for sure.
It got a lot of media coverage and brought a lot of good out in people, I do believe. So,
some of them were barefooted.
Yeah, until it got snow. For a large part of it, they walked barefoot.
And they covered a lot of elements.
Yeah.
And the snow and the ice, they were coming through here when that happened. That didn't slow them down. They just kept going. Certain level of commitment and discipline involved with that.
Yep.
Which is applaudable, I believe.
I'm sure a lot of logistics go into it.
For sure. Yeah.
Not knowing exactly where you're going to stop on what day, where you're going to stay. I think they stayed at a lot of fire departments along the way.
Right. They stayed at the in Kannapolis. Didn't they stay at the Speedway, the Charlotte Motor Speedway? I believe.
I didn't know that.
I believe that's where they stopped, and I believe that's where the dog was taken to a vet to recuperate from some issues that were going on.
Right.
About an hour south of southwest of where we live, right here.
Yeah.
So, and I touched on this in our last episode, and I don't want to delve deeply because it's not where the show goes. But there are some people that have brought up concerns about it. Some of which I think were well-meaning people, but at the end of the day, when we have people openly promoting violence, openly promoting all manner of unpleasant things, openly, like just doing it because they can, I'm not going to talk down on someone that is promoting peace.
Right.
Because we need it.
Indeed.
So yeah, I
anything that can bring the country together is a good thing.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
My wife's good friend who lives in Raleigh is actually writing a book about it.
Okay. This is the one that was in.
Oh yeah, in our wedding. You know them.
Yeah, and then was she the one that was in the Far East?
No. They weren't at our wedding. But she does. My wife does have friends who live in Thailand now.
Okay.
And in fact, her friend who lives out there now, Kevin, he actually before he moved there with his current wife, when he was like 18, he moved to Thailand and studied with Buddhist monks then in the mountains of Thailand, and then came back and lived in a monastery. Is that what they lived in? A Buddhist monastery here in Greensboro for a while.
Okay.
And then eventually went to UNCG.
Oh, the one right there south of 85?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that's right, yeah.
Good deal. Well, do we have any bad news stories that we could... I know that's...
I didn't bring any, did you?
No. Well, there's plenty of bad news.
Oh, yeah. We can bring it up right now.
Right. Yeah.
Well... We have that Nancy Guthrie case going on. Have you been following that?
Only what I hear at the gym while I'm working out.
For some reason, this one stuck with me. You and I are the same. Anytime someone attacks elderly or kids, there's a special place of hatred in my heart for them.
Yeah.
And this is I think she's 84-year-old mother of Savannah Guthrie, who I guess is I didn't even know who she was, but I guess she's a personality on the Today Show.
Yeah, on NBC, I believe.
Yep. Her mother is apparently had been kidnapped in Arizona. And for some reason, I've been following this one closely.
Okay. So, yeah, I know the names, and I know that the authorities don't know much outside of that.
Apparently, on January 31st, she took an Uber to her daughter's and son-in-law's house, had dinner with them, and then her son-in-law took her back home that evening, watched her go into the garage, and the garage door closed. Somewhere around 1:45 in the morning, the Ring doorbell went offline. And then at 2:48, her pacemaker, which is attached to her iPhone, was disconnected, which means it just was too far away from it to.
Right. So the Bluetooth.
It doesn't need the phone to function, but just like if you have a Fitbit that gives you stats and that kind of stuff on your phone. So the next morning, she didn't show up to church. I guess she didn't actually go to. She watches a church online at one of her friend's house. She didn't show up around noon. They went to check on her. Saw there were some blood droplets at the front door. Called the police, and that's when they realized that she was missing. And FBI ended up getting involved. She did not have a subscription to her Ring doorbell, so there was no video to go with the Ring doorbell. Okay.
But was there a picture or something?
FBI was able to recover that video about a week and a half later.
Okay.
So I guess even though she didn't have a subscription, Ring or whoever, Nest or whoever type of bell system it was, they had the recordings on their end and were able to capture it and give them videos. And it is frightening. I mean, it's a guy with a ski mask on, a backpack on, a holstered weapon in his. He has a holster hanging. It's a weird place to hold it, right in the middle of his waist. And it was not even the right holster for that type of gun. And he tried, but he doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. Like he's surprised to see a Nest Ring bell, and then he goes and grabs some plants to try and cover it or something. And it just seems like an odd way to deal with it. But, and then I guess there's been.
He had on a balaclava, right?
What's that?
The mask. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Sure enough. And I guess the police have been able to figure out exactly his height from those videos and the exact, it's like an Ozark 25-liter backpack and, different things. They found, I guess they found a latex glove inside the home, another one about a mile away from the home. So I guess they're doing touch DNA analysis on that kind of stuff. So hopefully they'll, I guess there has been a few ransom requests for money, but we don't even know
if it's legit.
Legit. In fact, one of them truly wasn't, and they've arrested that person.
They should.
Absolutely. They have to throw the book at them. But that's a terrible story. I have a bad story that has a silver lining.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Vanderbeek passed away.
Yeah.
Can't think of
James
Vanderbeek. Yeah. I guess he had cancer, been fighting it for a while, and I guess the fight with cancer has left him and his family depleted, funds depleted, and someone started a GoFundMe page, and over $2 million has been raised for them. So I found that kind of heartwarming.
Yeah, by all accounts, a lot of times when someone passes of celebrity or not, people generally will talk good, right? But by all accounts, everybody has always spoken well of him, and he just seemed like a genuinely.
I didn't watch as a Dawson's Creek, but my daughter did, and she was sad to see him pass.
Sure.
I didn't realize until I read the story. I mean, I knew he had been fighting cancer because that's been in the news for a while. I didn't know he had 6 kids.
6 kids, yep.
6 kids.
Yeah, and I don't think he and his first wife had any. It was all with the second wife. the first wife, kind of to the story about the kidney, it's a similar type thing. His first wife was very gracious in her statement on his passing. I don't know if you know who Stacy Keebler is.
Mm-mm.
She used to be involved with wrestling many years ago. I think she was dating. I don't remember if they were married or not, but she had a relationship with George Clooney for quite some time.
What was her name?
Stacy Keebler.
Stacy Keebler. Okay.
She had a very heartwarming tribute that she posted online. She was there with him when he passed. So sometimes it's like you hear people talking well and it seems manufactured or forced, but all of this, I mean, seriously, it just seems so legit. A lot of heartwarming posts. And
well, I watched one of his posts that he had made. I think it was the last post before he passed.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I got that sense from him personally.
Yeah.
That it was.
Yeah. So do you have any ERO for us?
I don't know, do you? I don't think I have any. I didn't come prepared with an ERO example, but
I had one. Maybe I should start using the voice note recorder on my phone. Like I'll be driving somewhere, something will come into my head, and I can't write.
We should explain what ERO is, since we mentioned it in our last episode. But ERO, E plus R equals O.
Mm-hmm.
The event plus your response equals the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a way to encourage you to craft the right response to whatever event you're faced with to get the outcome that you want. So,
right. The outcome, yeah, and
you can't control the event. You can't control the outcome, but you can control your response to try and craft or give you the best chance of the outcome that you desire.
Right, absolutely. And it's really kind of common sense. Before I had ever even heard this, I've told Jackson, my son, many times, who has been the unfortunate recipient to excessive bullying. I always tell him, you have no control over them.
Right.
You can only control your actions. And so it helps you maneuver life better when you realize that, right?
Right.
Even though you can't control the outcome, you can influence the outcome.
Right.
Potentially.
Exactly.
There are some cases where your response is not going to matter, right? But in most cases, your response will have some kind of influence over the outcome of that event.
And I think it trains you also to take a pause,
mm-hmm.
take a breath, and not necessarily react in the moment,
right.
so that you can give some thought to what you're going through and what's the best possible outcome you can see coming from this, and then try and craft your response. So it does.
That's important though. If you think about it, right? I'm trying to think of good ways to word what I'm going to say. Go ahead. Sorry.
I wasn't trying to interrupt
you. No. It's a good. It helps you in the heat of the moment. So I'm not trying to get dark, but that's the reason why the law has a clear delineation between the two manslaughter convictions and murder convictions, right? In the heat of the moment, you may react negatively, right?
Right.
Having this mindset, while it may not be 100%, if you practice it on a daily basis, being in that mindset could help prevent in heat of the moment type things.
Correct.
Right? If you just take a step back. Let's be honest. None of us can be objective in the heat of the moment, like without taking a step back. Like if you stay in the heat of the moment, you can't be objective that way. You just can't be. Our brains are kind of short-circuited at that point in time. So taking a big step back, whether that's physical space and or time, right?
Yep.
To allow yourself to try to take a more objective approach to the situation If you practice that on a regular basis, then it becomes easier to do
Right.
in the heat of the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think that's something Eric and I are really trying to promote here. In everyday life, it can be something as simple as a parking space. I remember last week I was getting ready to pull into a parking space, and I happened to glance up, and someone was already waiting on it with a blinker on. I was a third of the way into the parking space. I put the car in reverse. I backed out. Unfortunately, a car had come up where I couldn't back up as far as I needed to let that car go in. So I pulled forward, and the person behind me saw what was going on. They let the car pull in. At the end of the day, they had already claimed that parking space, right? Sitting there waiting for the other person to back out with their blinker on. Right. Because now the other person backed out, I couldn't see them, right? So I could have been like, oh, who cares about that person?
First serve.
Right. And then what if that person, not trying to cast any persuasion, I'm just saying, what if that person was a hothead? Then I could be in the hospital, right? Mm-hmm. Or in jail or whatever. So that was it hadn't even got to a full event, but I had the presence of mind because of this. I was just like, one, it's the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. Two, the safest thing to do in today's day and age. Yeah. So I think it's kind of good practice. Really, if we just practice being cognizant
and courteous.
Yeah, courteous.
My dad always said, courtesy is contagious.
Right. It is. That's true. How many times have you seen someone either being nasty to someone else, maybe you're a customer, or even kind of nasty to you, and you continually smile and be polite and courteous to them, and it changed their approach? I've seen it. It's not 100%, but I've seen it happen dozens upon dozens of times in my life. I mean, and sometimes I look at it as a challenge. I'll go in, maybe I'm going someplace and they call my name, and I go up to the counter or whatever, and this person is having a bad day, or the person before was a jerk or whatever. I look at it as a challenge to get them to break out of that funk that they're in, get them to smile, get them, and in a good way, not like, oh, that's another check in my column. That's not what I'm saying. Just like, how can I make this person feel better, even if it's just in the moment they're dealing with me?
Right.
And kindness is contagious. Yeah. Well, that's not what you said.
I say courtesy, but
being courteous, being kind. Yeah, I think it's important. Next week, we promise to be less prepared than we are today. Well, I mean, in all honesty, sometimes, I mean, the celebrity birthdays in this day in history is a hit or miss, and sometimes it can provide a decent amount of fodder for us, for sure. But we actually have had some traction on our different platforms. We've had some people following us on Spotify, on YouTube. Thank you. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share. I think that's what people say. I don't care about the notification bell, whatever. But like, subscribe, and share on whatever platform you're following us on. That helps sneak us into your algorithm and also other people. Sometimes the Spotify or YouTube will present us, and some of the listeners that we have and the followers we have are due to that. So thank you. We do appreciate it. What would be really cool? I think it's probably, I shouldn't say it's not impossible. I think it would be unlikely. How cool would it be if any of the listeners of our former show, I don't mean that have listened to it since I posted it here recently,
right,
but that were listening to it as it was happening, if they somehow found us and reconnected?
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be very cool. We actually have at least one person following us from the United Kingdom. I'm pretty sure if it was our dude from the 2010, I think he would have already reached out to let us know.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to, and the content will kind of be scattered because of the format of the show.
Or incoherent.
Incoherent. But if you want to, if you like two middle-aged goofy guys, no, I'm serious.
Preparation may take away from our incoherency.
Right. It would. It would. Jim and I told me that it was good that we had an outline because then we could be incoherent, but also come across like we had some form of preparation for the show. Which is true. But in all seriousness, if you're looking for a place that will look at good news or bad news from a different lens,
right,
without all the political onslaught nonsense that you get everywhere else, we're here for you. That's what we're doing. Because, as we've said, we have enough negativity surrounding us, for sure.
Or obscure stories about now retired race car drivers.
Right. Well, I do. I have another one. This is a quick one.
Okay.
I was at an Italian restaurant that is no longer open. A very small, right here on Holden Road.
Okay.
Holden and Pinecroft.
I can't think of an Italian restaurant over there.
No, Vandalia. Holden and Vandalia.
What was it?
I don't know. It was like Mario's or what. It was just it's not there anymore. It was a regular pizza sub, chicken parm, things like that. And about halfway through my meal, and this was in the early 2000s, 2001, 2002, somewhere in there, Richard Petty came in and sat down. It was he and his wife and then another couple. And we made eye contact. Well, I'm assuming we did. He had on his trademark sunglasses.
Right.
But he kept looking at me. And as we were walking out, I said, I'm going to go speak to Mr. Petty. And the person I was with were like, no, don't. It's embarrassing. Celebrities don't like that. I was like, he's like looking at me because he knows me and he's looking for me to come over. And I came over. And this is what I love about my Will Smith story. It's the same thing.
Right.
He gets up from the table and he said, Jack and Sally's grandson. He couldn't remember my name.
Right.
He could not remember my name. But he knew who I was. And before I even said anything, he's like, you're Jack and Sally's grandson. I said, yes, sir, Mr. Petty. And he shook my hand. He gave me a hug and insisted, they were at a Six Top, insisted for us to sit down.
Oh, wow.
They had finished the dinner. They were going to order dessert, insisted for us to stay. We had not ordered dessert. So we sat down there with them and we ordered dessert. And of course, he picked up the tab. Just a good man, really. I have, because of that personal connection, I have a lot of respect for him because he never let his celebrity go to his head.
Right. He's
Richard Petty, son of Lee Petty, Level Cross, North Carolina. He's not the greatest of all time or anything like that. And I have a lot of respect for that. Plus, his son obviously was reared in the same way to have that same kind of approach. So, good thing. And I wouldn't say obscure, maybe obscure stories, but if you don't know who Richard, you don't have to be a NASCAR fan.
I wasn't thinking he was obscure.
No, right. Our obscure stories. Right. Yes. So, you have anything else?
That's all I got. You got anything else?
No, I do not.
No.
We'll go ahead and close it down. This is
we can get busy doting on our wives.
Yes. We will dote upon them. This was February 14th, right?
Yep.
Episode 2, season 2026. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
And you shouldn't expect to have to wait another 5 weeks for the next one, right?
Yes. We anticipate being here a week from today.
There you go.
Yes. And last time I posted it on the Saturday, later that evening. But this episode will be posted. If not today, it'll be posted tomorrow. So I'm Chris.
I'm Eric.
And this is Incoherent Ramblings. Thank you for hanging out with us.